Hey everyone, welcome to the next video in Python programming series. So until we have seen some of the basic functions and instructions related to the Python programming. So on the basis of those functions and whatever loops we have seen, for loop, while loop, and how to take input, strings, dictionaries, what is meant by tuples, what is meant by list, then what is meant by break, continue, pass statement, and a lot of things we have covered until now. Okay, so based on that knowledge which you have gained from those basic videos, we will try to write a simple program here. So that is to just clarify our doubts in case if you are able to understand or not. Okay, so this is the exercise which we want to do today. So write a program to take the input from user and make the list of those numbers until the user enters OK. Then the meaning of this one is you have to take the input from the user, that is you have to write a code in such a way that it should ask the user to give the input, and you should take the input until the user presses OK. So he can give n number of values before he press OK. So you should be, or your code should be ready to take those n number of values, and once the user enters OK, then it should stop taking the values. And then what it should do is, once OK key has been detected, then find the maximum number and minimum number out of that list. So whatever list we have created until now, we have to find out the maximum number and the minimum number in that list, so whatever the user has entered, and print the same on the output window. So we need to print that maximum and minimum number in the list. So okay, so this is the problem which is given for us. So I hope you the question is understood now. So what is there in that question and what we should do. So how I can write the code for this one, let us see. So before that, so if you are new to the channel, please guys hit the like button and subscribe the channel, because we will be uploading the Python related programs and other mini projects related to Python continuously. So it will be a two-way benefit for us. So you will be benefited, and as I will be benefited. So I request you to do the subscription. So now I will move to the Python shell. I am using the latest version, that is 3.8.3. Then let us open a new file. So file, new file. So new file has been opened now. So what I should do is, let me just write the program, then I will explain you line by line. So, okay, so I will first create a number list. So let us say this is the variable which is used to store the number of the variables, the values which are entered by the user. So I will just create a empty list here. So this will create a empty list which is num list, and the syntax used is like this. So list of no parameters are passed here, so it will create a list which has got nothing, so it is an empty list. Now I will use a while statement, because I want a infinite loop to be running until and unless the user enters OK. So it should take a number of values. So for that I should go for while loop, that is infinite while loop. So how I can write infinite while loop? While, and in bracket I have to write true, so that it will become a infinite loop. So now this is the declaration of infinite loop. I will do now I will take the input from user. So I will storing it in a variable called inp. So it is the input. So if you write input, then it will be expecting the input from the user. So I will write a guideline for the user saying that enter the number. So enter the let us say numbers, I will say, because we are creating a list. Alright, so now it is asking the user to enter the number. So next what I want to do, if I want to check if the user has entered OK or not, so I will use if statement here. If input, that is the whatever the user has entered, is equal to OK, so let us say OK, then what I want to do is come out of this one, that is break this one. So if once the user enters OK, then it will not take any values above that one, so that will be the end of the number list, I can say. So I will just break this one here, and then I will now there is no restriction on the user that he should enter the integer values only, or he should enter the characters only, so that I will convert all these numbers. So whether he will enter the integer or floating point or characters, so I will convert all those things to floating point, because it will be covering all integer, characters, and everything it will be covering in the floating point value. So I will take a variable called value, and I will assign it to like this, so float of input. So I'll write like this. So what it will be doing basically is, it will take the input, that is whatever the user has entered, it will convert it to the floating point value and assign to the variable called value. So whatever the user, if he enters 10, then it will be converted to form 10.0. If he enters 0.5, it will be as it is 0.5. So if he enters integers, then it will convert it to the floating point values. That's the ultimate aim of that one, that is writing value equal to float of input. Okay, so now what I have done, I have converted to the floating point values. Now what I should do, I should store it in a number, that is number list, that is here num list. So I will append these numbers one by one. Number I will be taking and appending it to the empty list. So what I will write, a num list dot append. So it will basically do the function of appending the values which the user is entering. So I will write value. So it will take the values and it will append it to the num list. So num list, as you can see, it is a empty list. So it will keep on appending as the numbers are being entered from the user. So because it is in the while loop, so until and unless while loop is true, this will be appended. So now once I have done finishing with I have done with the num list creation. So what I want to do now is, my num list creation or my number list is ready. So I will now print the number list to see what is there in the number list. So I will write like this. Make sure that you come out of this while loop. So you should not be writing here, so otherwise it will show an indentation error. So you should come out of this while loop and write like this: print. What I want to print is the entered number list is, so let us say the entered numbers are. So I will write like this, and I have to give comma, then whatever the list which has been created, I should print. So I will write num list. So this one I want to print. Then the num list has been displayed. Now I want to display the maximum and minimum numbers. So I will write a comment, I will write a print statement here so that the user will understand. So I will write the maximum number entered by the user is. So I will write like this, and I will put a comma here, and I will write let us say maximum of the num list. So whatever the characters or the numbers the num list is having, sorry for that one, so it should display the maximum number there. Okay, then I will write another statement here, print. Then I will write opposite of this one, the minimum number entered by the user is. So I will write like this. So min is the way, standard keyword which is used to find the minimum number, then it should find in the num list. So I will write like this. Alright, so this is the code which I have written. Let us see first it will show some error or not. So I will save this one, Control S. Then I will save with the name JJ, let us say. Then I will run this one now. Alright, so it is not showing any error, it is just asking for the numbers. So I will just keep on entering the numbers. Let us say first I will enter 12. Name float is not defined, so name float is not defined, so line 11. So let me just see. Yeah, we have made a spelling mistake here, so it is not able to recognize float, so it is a float float. Okay, so that's the mistake which I have done. So as you can see, at the beginning it is not showing the error. Whenever we try to execute this one, it is showing me the error. So that's why it is called as a real-time programming language. So let me just execute this again. Now I will enter the same number 12, then I will enter 10. Okay, then I will enter 13, then 14, then 15, then 16, then let us say 100, 105. Let us say some random number. I will just mention some random numbers here. So okay, so biggest number is this one. Alright, so now I will enter OK. So as you can see, once I press this OK string, then it will come out of that one. So now as you can see, as soon as I entered OK, it is coming out of the number series, and the entered numbers are, it is converted those integer values to the floating point, 12, 10, 13, 14, 15, like this up to this last number, that is the big one. And then the maximum number entered by the user is this one, and the minimum number entered by the user is this one. So as you can see, 10 is the lowest number, and this one is the 222 is the highest number which I have entered. So like this you can write a code. So let me just explain the code once again. So num list equal to list of brackets. This will basically create a list that is empty list, so which has got no parameters inside that one. So we can append the elements to make the list complete. So I will take a infinite loop, then I will take the input from the user saying that enter the numbers, and then I will check whether the user has entered OK or not. So if the user enters OK, then I will use the break statement to come out of this while loop, that is infinite loop, and I will directly go to the this one, that is value equal to float dot input. Then I will come out of this and print the entered numbers. So then I will append this one. So as long as it has not been pressed by OK, then it will keep on appending the numbers which I entered to the num list. And once the this OK has been pressed, then it will come to the print statement, and it will show the entered numbers are, that is number list it will show. Then this statement will find the maximum of that numbers, and this statement will find the minimum of that numbers. So like this you can write the program for this one. So thanks for watching.